very often we get controlled by situations around us, and we get triggered. A very commonly used word is I got triggered by this person, that person, this happened, that happened, so I could not control myself, and there was the only way to do it was this. But there are powerful techniques in NLP that ensure you master your own emotions. Having no choice is a choice that you make.
Hello everyone. Once again, I welcome you to INspIRAtions, and today's episode is going to be something special. We have Dr. Mehernosh Randeria between us as a special guest. He is an internationally certified NLP Master Trainer. He has been awarded as Honorary Doctorate of Literature in NLP, firm follower of Learn, Teach, Do Approach, international speaker at global NLP summits and Rise World Summits, has over 2 decades of leadership experience in corporate world. In today's episode, we are going to explore the questions like how we have to talk to ourselves, and this can help us to shape our future. Stay tuned. If you like today's episode, please do like, share, subscribe, and of course, comment. So let's start with the first question of your foundation of approach, that is W3 approach, and how it can lead us to a prosperous life.
Sure, Alzira, thank you for having me here firstly.
Welcome.
So W3 is basically the 3 W's of life. That is wealth, wisdom, and wellness. It's like all the three are important. But if I were to sum up the W3 approach in one word, that would be balance. A lot of times we don't even realize that we are pursuing one thing and one other thing goes out of hand. Or at times our mind believes that if you want to achieve one, you cannot achieve the other. For example, there are many people who think that no, I don't have time for my fitness because I have to work, because my work is important, my business or my job, whatever, I'm working on that. So fitness ke liye, I don't have time. But then is that really so? Are these two things really so distinct and separate? How can you be comfortable, or how will you be able to perform to the best in your professional role if your body is not serving you well? So it comes down to the balance between the 3 W's. Same way, wisdom is not just about you may say what comes in wisdom. Wisdom is about being wise, and being wise is understanding the way our mind can lead us, understanding the subconscious patterns that work within us. And they can also come out and hamper our conscious efforts to achieve something if we are not aware about it. So all the 3 pillars, all the 3 W's are equally important, and the point lies in balancing them.
What is the key method to maintain the balance between the three?
The first and foremost aspect here is being aware. Right? Are you even aware that you are paying attention, or you need to pay attention to all the three? Everything starts with awareness. The first step to change is awareness. And being a NLP Master Trainer, I blend in a lot of principles from the field of Neuro-Linguistic Programming in bringing about the change through the awareness. So to give you an example, that how to bring this balance, the key thing I can relate to over here are the 3 pillars of Neuro-Linguistic Programming. Even there, the first pillar is awareness. What is happening? Where are you right now in terms of all the three, in terms of the balance, in terms of Is your life lopsided towards one, or is it well integrated? So awareness is about knowing what is working and also knowing that what needs to be worked upon. The second pillar is your outcome. Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? Having that clarity that in each area, what is my top level or what is that ideal goal that I want? And of course, currently what I'm saying is again a bit on a higher level because in each area of life, there will be specific goals. And in terms of those, where am I? And rather, what do I want? Where am I is the awareness, but what do I want is the outcome, the clarity about what you want to do. And the third pillar is about flexibility. Knowing that we all have the flexibility to achieve whatever we want, and knowing that what needs to happen, what course correction do I need to do? What is working well? How can I make it work more? What is not working well? What changes do I need to do? It's not that, okay, I have seen it work well, so that's the only way it works. That's not necessarily true, right? So flexibility is not just flexibility in your actions, more importantly, flexibility in your thought patterns. So these three are also related: awareness, outcome orientation, and flexibility. And this becomes the basis to apply NLP into whatever you want to achieve in life, whether it is wealth, wisdom, or wellness.
Since you mentioned about NLP, I would like you to explain in detail about NLP and how it can help us to lead the life with these three pillars.
Sure. So NLP is a study of your thought patterns in a way so that you can achieve whatever you want in life. This is a very, again, one simplistic definition I've given.
Mm.
If you look around various books of NLP, various authors of NLP, various websites, you'll find different ways of defining NLP. And few of the simplest definitions I can share with you are that NLP is the study of what works. So if you look at something which is working well, have that attitude of curiosity to find out how did it work? What is going on over here? If someone is achieving marvelous results and you are also vying to achieve those results, what is it that person is doing differently? Apart from that, another fantastic or my favorite definition of NLP is that NLP is the study of the difference that makes the difference.
Okay, I like that one.
Yeah, because that is what is the key difference between what works and what does not work.
Yeah.
And then how to imbibe it, how to make it work for you. And often when I share this kind of example that, you look at people who have achieved some success and you find out what works. In NLP, it is called as modeling successful behavior. A lot of people ask that, but does that mean that I have to do a cut, copy, paste and have to drop my individuality? The answer is no. Because when we spoke about awareness, we also spoke about what is already working well for you, how to retain that. And if there was a mechanism to integrate what are the other ways of working well into what is already working well, you can develop your own model of success.
I agree with you. So thank you so much that you have explained it in a very, very simple form, like for any normal person who doesn't read the books of NLP will now be able to relate in their daily lives. Could you share a few success stories on NLP?
In NLP, I feel like, so I'll just give you one example, rather one idea about how we go about in the NLP program.
Mhm.
So the NLP program is based on how to apply the NLP principles and the NLP techniques in your day-to-day life. Okay, like I came across NLP long back ago when I was in the corporate world. I have been in the finance field for 18 years before I got into the field of NLP training and coaching. So I have used NLP in day-to-day corporate interactions and even in my personal life. And that is what I bring into my NLP trainings in the sense about how you can use it in your day-to-day life. So the way the NLP program is structured is that after every course, after every batch, we have an assignment. And the assignment is about asking people to share their experiences with individual topics of NLP.
Interesting.
So the assignment is not, okay, what is the name of this pattern or what is this technique called or how do you make this work? The question is, how have you made this work in your life? And for each question, people share. So coming to your question about what are the success stories, in the last 4 years, I have trained more than 1,000 people on NLP. And
Wow.
those assignments which I get, each of them carry at least 20 to 30 success stories in them.
Amazing.
Because success story is not about how well I taught NLP. The success story is how well everyone has implemented NLP. Not only NLP as a whole, as a way of life, but individual techniques, whether they're language patterns, whether they're understanding yourself, talk, the language that you use with others, the language that you use with yourself, whether they are ways to master your own emotions. Very often we get controlled um, by situations around us, and we get triggered. A very commonly used word is I got triggered by this person, that person, this happened, that happened, so I could not control myself, and there was the only way to do it was this. But there are powerful techniques in NLP that ensure you master your own emotions. There are powerful techniques in NLP that make you aware about what are the flexible options that you have in your life. Right? There are people who have shared that they thought that there was no choice. They were only doing one thing because there was no choice. But in NLP, we learn that having no choice is a choice that you make.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And how to look beyond, how to ask yourself more questions for more options. So one success story again for my own self I want to share is that I, way back in my prior to my corporate days, prior to my exposure to NLP, I had a huge fear of public speaking.
Okay.
People find it surprising to believe that today,
Yes,
because
actually.
that is my profession now. I used to stammer, stutter in every line, every sentence, every 3 words, and I would be like stammering or stuttering. Thanks to the power of NLP, I have worked on myself. And for me, it is a personal victory that today I have overpowered um, that resistance of that fear or that stammering, speech issues. The founder of NLP has written a book. The founders are Richard Bandler and John Grinder. There is a book by Richard Bandler, and the title of that book can actually sum up what you can do with NLP. The title of the book is Get the Life You Want.
You have a corporate world experience. You worked in the finance department.
Yeah.
What made you take on a full-time NLP coach as your profession?
In short, I would say that I discovered my passion, my purpose in this field.
Uh, that's
To go back, way back when I was in the corporate world, I when I came across NLP, I found the power of it. I found the magic of it. I started implementing it, and I said that yeah, this is something which really helps me. But even then, when I learned NLP or when I applied NLP on myself, I had no intention of becoming an NLP coach or trainer. What had happened is that when I completed my CA, I'm a chartered accountant, and I was in the corporate world. I was working as a VP finance in a French company, and I wanted to continue learning something more. By default, what that something more was in the field of finance only. So I did my MBA in finance, part-time MBA from General Bajaj Mumbai. And after completing that course, which was 3 years long course, while I was working parallelly, so it's a part-time course. And that time online was not there. Talking about way back. After completing that program, I was invited to be a visiting faculty with General Bajaj on the topic of finance and accounting. Even today, I'm visiting faculty with these people.
Mhm.
But in those days, what happened was that I used to be a visiting faculty. I used to go to college, teach there one day in a week. And I started realizing that that one day in a week was giving me more satisfaction, more fulfillment than the 6 days in my plush cabin in the fancy designation. So I wanted to start working on that because I found that my real connect lies in teaching.
Mhm.
My students have given me feedback that I make things really simple, whether it is finance, whether it is NLP, or whatever topic. So I really found that connect, and with the help of NLP, when I overcame my fear of public speaking, then I could connect with the audience even better. I could relate to the audience better, teach them in a way that they understand rather than the way I understand. So that is where I found my passion of teaching. When I branched out as a teacher, as a trainer, I started off with topics of finance, finance for non-finance. I do still do that for corporates. So financial acumen for business, personal financial fitness. So those kind of workshops I also do. So when I started off, doing, I really enjoyed teaching. So whatever topic they mind. But then I realized that what I wanted to teach was something which really altered my own life.
Mm. Okay.
That is why I chose NLP as my niche.
Interesting.
And
Um,
parallelly, while I was in the job, I started learning how to coach, how to teach. I did my coach training certifications and my trainer training certifications, and then transitioned as a full-time trainer, speaker, coach, mentor.
Very nice. I agree with your students that you make things very simple so that everyone can easily understand and relate to it. While trying to understand about NLP, I realized that it is about asking questions. It is about asking right questions to yourself.
One of the
So
things is it.
one of the things. So what is the difference between asking questions to yourself and overthinking?
Hmm. So I had one participant in my class once who said that, I have this problem of overthinking. Okay. And I invited her to overthink a bit more,
I
just by
was
channelizing the thinking in the right direction. So to answer your question, the difference between overthinking and asking questions is whether you're asking the right kind of questions. Because overthinking can put you into loops. And there are multiple frameworks that we talk about in NLP. One of them is like, are you in the victim mode or are you in the victor mode? In NLP terms, they are called as effect mode and cause mode. Generally, when we talk about overthinking, the the tendency of the mind is to go more towards the victim mode. I can't do this. This is the limiting thing. This is what is there, and this is coming in the way now. So that it is a way to shift. NLP shows you a way to shift from the victim mode to the victor mode, from the effect mode to the cause mode. And how can I take charge? I'll give you a simple example of asking the right kind of question. Often, when something is not working for us, what is the most common question that we tend to ask?
why me?
Why? Why me? Why this? Why? Blah blah. And yeah, there are many models based on 5 whys and root cause analysis. Ask the why. Ask the why. Think about it. Right since childhood, when have we been asked the question why? When something went well, or when something did not go well?
Something did not go well. Negative cycle.
Right? Even if someone gets 99% marks, they'll say, why did you lose that 1%?
Yes.
Right? Or if something doesn't go well, why didn't you not do it? Or even in the corporate world, why did this not happen? Why did that not happen? Why am I not getting promoted? Why am I not working on my fitness? We keep asking ourselves why. And that begins a loop of overthinking at times, that why? Let me find out why. The other way to ask the question, a more appropriate or a more interesting, inviting way to get the right answers, is to ask the question, how, instead of why. Because how is more focused on the outcome, more focused on the solution, more focused on the goal, more focused on what you want. If you are asking yourself, why am I not getting promoted? Why am I not working on my fitness? You will get all the answers. But the way the mind answers, and again, related to every time you were asked a why question, why did you not do this? Why did you do that? The mind answers a why question with a focus on defending, or justifying, or coming up with reasons. And the interesting part over here is that when the mind answers the why question, the answers are meant to explain or justify something in such a way that this was there, this is there, so this will be there. If you say, why am I not able to work on my fitness? Because I'm so busy, because I have a busy life, I am already working till late night, you'll have all the reasons, right? But the mind is saying that was there and that is going to be there even going on. So what's the big difference? But same, when you're overthinking into why, I invite you to overthink into how. Ask yourself, how can I start working on my fitness? How can I pick up that New Year resolution that I made a few months ago and start working on that again if I drop it? Don't ask, why am I not working on my New Year resolution? How can I make it? And your mind will come up with answers which are more action oriented, which are more solution oriented. Then is the why framework not going to work? The answer is here. The power in the how is that how addresses the why, but does not defend the why. How will also address the reasons, but with the objective of overcoming them. See, that's an example of the difference that makes the difference.
I truly understand. And correct me if I am going in a right way. Like, for example, if I'm asking a question to myself as why, I will try to defend myself saying that you are right. I'm trying to judge myself. You are right,
Yeah,
and that situation was wrong.
yeah,
So when I try to question myself like how, I get answers from all the direction without judging myself and without
yeah,
taking one side of any particular situation.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I'm there.
And how will also consider the reality, which the why is anyway answering. But the difference is the why is defending the reality,
Mm,
and how
mhm.
is looking at creating a new reality for yourself,
Right.
while not denying the reality, not
Mhm.
denying what is there, but how can we overcome this? How can we create the new thing that we want, despite what is there?
Do you also take classes for share market and share market related any kind of training?
Not directly share market related. See, whether it is share market, whether it is mutual funds, whether it is various avenues of investing, they are all specific pockets.
Mm,
I take a training on more larger picture of how to plan your finances,
mhm,
how to know where to invest, how to know how much to invest. A lot of financial gurus say that, start saving and curb your spending. But then to what extent do you save and what extent do you spend? Again, the secret lies are in balance. And that balance cannot be ad hoc. So in my financial classes, I teach you how to find out what is that amount that is just adequate for you to save so that you can enjoy the luxuries of the present life also. It's not sacrificing your present so that you can have a future, and not even the either way, the reverse way, but knowing that balance. So that is one of the examples, how to balance your present your future in terms of your financial freedom, and how to balance your security and your freedom.
Yeah.
And there are both the
So,
extremes. There are people who will not even worry about the future and spend, yeah, future will happen whenever it happens. So it's about, again, finding that right tipping point, the balance. The
yes,
idea is
yes.
not to discard your future. At the same time, the idea is not to be the richest person in the graveyard,
Mm,
but to ensure a well balanced.
right. So, would you like to suggest some of the books which are related to NLP and which can help us to learn at least the base of NLP? And then, of course, we have your sessions to join
Sure,
and understand it more deeply.
certainly. So the founders of NLP have come up with a lot of books.
Mhm,
Some of them are a bit heavy and technical. Some of
mhm,
them are simple and lucid also.
mhm.
So Get the Life You Want, the one which I mentioned, that is one of the recommended books. It covers a lot of techniques of NLP in a very application oriented manner. Another one is uh, communication excellence.
Okay.
And that is again about in life, in communication, how do you apply NLP with others, with yourself, in your self talk. Because NLP has got to do with the lot to do with the power of language. And the way you use language affects the way you deal with life.
Yeah. Here you just mentioned about one interesting topic. It's about self-talk. So how is you said NLP is all about the language you speak.
Yeah,
So how is that related to your personality? I mean, to one's personality.
it shapes up a lot. If you ask people, let's say and you could do it today, you ask 10 people around you to complete the sentence. Life is dash.
Okay,
Okay. And
life
notice
is
what all
beautiful. Yeah.
meanings come up. Yeah, some will say life is beautiful, someone will say life is a struggle, right? Multiple ways will come up, multiple answers will come. Now, if you look at it, what people choose to define that, whether it is life or whether it is I am dash or my day is dash, in every where you are using your words, it creates your reality. The power of language is often misunderstood in a limiting way that language is used to describe an experience. Right? When something happens and we choose to explain it, we use language. But the even more powerful aspect of language is that language can create your experience. A simple example: I had a client who always used to have this motto in life that I'm a warrior. Now, to most people, it may sound very empowering. Wow, I'm a warrior. This guy's a survivor, a warrior. Great. But ask yourself, for you to be a warrior, what is needed in the life? A war. What are you inviting in life? Wars? Battles? Which means every situation you're looking at with that perspective, oh, this is I have to fight. It doesn't mean he's argumentative or anything, but the mind perceives everything as a battlefield. So one principle in NLP is that whatever you are responding to in life, you are not responding to that event which is happening. You're responding to what you are perceiving about that event. And mind is a meaning making machine. You cannot not make meaning, right? Even here, the audience is watching you, who are familiar with you, they are making some meaning about you. Even if they're familiar with me or not familiar with me, they are making some meaning about me. Ah, ye hai, wo hai, this is the way it is. You cannot prevent meaning making. That is the natural function of the mind. But again, the first pillar of NLP is what? Awareness. The idea about awareness here is be aware. Is that meaning making being useful to you or not useful to you? And then there is a lot more behind that in NLP. But talking about language, self-talk, communication, what I'll ask you a question, okay, and I'll invite the audience also to think about it. In terms of percentage, how much percentage of communication happens with others versus the percentage of communication that happens with yourself?
In my case, it is 80% to self and 20%
Okay,
with others.
okay, okay. And what do you mean in your case?
Because for now, yes, that's the situation I'm in. 80%
Okay,
with self and 20% with
all
others.
right. Okay, okay, great, thanks. And what makes you think this percentage is the percentage for you?
Good question. Because from the time I wake up till the time I sleep, I just talk to myself a lot. I it's like I take my own opinion, I take my own suggestions, I ask questions to myself. So like this, it is like you. I mean, my opinion matters the most than anybody else. That's why I say 80%.
Nice. Okay, okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Welcome.
But this 80-20 is not just for you. 80-20 is for everyone. The same percentage, or rather, it's in fact more. It is almost around 85 to 90% of the communication happens with ourselves. Now, I asked you specifically because you said in my case, you gave an example that, yeah, you consider your own opinions uh, to be your guiding light. That is fine. But even if people don't consider their own opinions to be the guiding light, even if they're taking opinions from other people or following other people's validation or whatever it is, what makes you feel that other person is important? You have a self talk about that. Self talk is not about talking to yourself in the mirror or scheduling an appointment. Okay, now I'm going to get into a self talk mode. Self talk is something which is happening all the time. Because when you are communicating or responding to the meaning making or the perception, the meaning making that you're doing is that communication with yourself.
Being awareness.
Yeah, yeah. And if a dog were to come up right now next to you while you're sitting and
Okay.
talking to me, how would you react?
I'll be freaked out.
Okay, right. It's just a dog. If somebody else would answer, "Oh, dog, wow, I would pet it. I would welcome it. I would take it on my lap and then talk to you." Now, here the thing is, there is nothing right or wrong because you are not responding to the dog. You are responding to the meaning that you have given to the dog.
Right.
Whether you welcome it or whether you shoo it away or whether you freak out, you are responding to the meaning that you have made to the dog. That meaning that you have given to that external situation is your communication with yourself. And in NLP, we choose to explore whether that meaning making is empowering or limiting. Even in this awareness, we drop all judgment. We don't judge right, wrong, good, bad. It is not about right, wrong, good, bad. Simple question: empowering or limiting? There is no right answer, and the right answer will fit only your model of the world. There's another term from the field of NLP. Model of the world is your worldview, your reality, which you are living.
Yeah. And then, how do you identify the difference between empowering and limiting belief?
So there are techniques to do that. But I'll share in short, since we don't have time to explain that entire process. I'll share with you in short one powerful question that you can ask. Whatever thought or whatever belief you're making about a particular situation, just ask yourself one simple question. If I did not have this belief, what would be different in my life? If I did not have this belief, what would be different in my life? that will open up its own answers and some thoughts again. But more about that we cover in the NLP course itself. But this is a good opening pointer for you and for everyone here in the audience to think about.
Certainly. And there's also the more and more questions that I'm asking is making me think that I should join an NLP as soon as possible.
Sure, you're most welcome.
And I think this is the case with the audience as well.
Yeah. So I will share the link of the program with you.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can share it in the description.
Mhm. So, yes, this is all because this was like a trailer, and I think in future we will certainly have more elaborated session,
Sure,
and
looking forward to that.
which will be again interesting as it was today.
Sure. Thank you. It's
Thank you so
wonderful being
much.
here. Wonderful talking to you, and love the kind of questions you asked. Thank you.
Mhm. That was Dr. Mehernosh Randeria at INspIRAtions. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'm sure today onwards we are going to start asking right questions to ourselves. If you liked today's episode, and if you need another episode with Dr. Mehernosh Randeria, do let me know, and thank you very much.